Alright, so here's the thing. We are on episode 10 of Dorei-Ku animation. And I gotta say, last week it didn't really get to me. Last week it didn't. I feel kind of bad that last week's episode of Dorei-Ku animation wasn't that spark. It wasn't that fire that get people going. But episode 10 did it. Like, they kind of, we get the idea as to what many people will say, that people will do anything to get more slaves. People will fight, claw, dig their way to end the SCM, the world of SCM, or not. And how it defines power. Like, I've read the manga. Don't get me wrong, the manga is more better than the anime. But the manga described as how people got involved with this and how it's so complex and so dynamic, to see how everybody will do anything they can to end the SCM. Now, I want to talk about Matt Rio. Now, episode 10 did show us Rio, the little boy, with his ways as to why he was part of the SCM. Now, in his flashback before previously, we get to know his mother, and as to why his mother goes out every now and then to make money for a living. Okay. And I feel bad for Rio. Like, Rio has, I thought I hated him at first. Don't get me wrong. I hated him at first. The way how he was controlling Julia. But then he's like, through months and months with Julia, he's kind of fond with her. He changed. And Julia changed Rio. Now, on to backstory, okay, because Rio's backstory kind of fucked up. Just think about it. Mother works late at a brothel. Gotta make that payment. He tried some way to make that money to get her mother out of harm's way. But as they show me this episode, I still to this day, I ask myself, you practiced the SCM on Julia. Why don't you do that on the owner of the bar? The brothel. Like, that could work, maybe. If you thought about that, I'm just saying that the whole idea should have worked. Okay. And as much as everybody's backstory is sad or complex, Rio's backstory is very sad. Like, for a boy living in a house alone, didn't have nobody, then Julia came in and just, opened up arms to him. I really like that. I really do. Now, we're going to go on from that to what we call the stupid case scenario for the team. Okay, so Rio's team got this, look at the map, and it's a star symbol. You think they would have known what the star symbol means by now. And they thought that, okay, we got one of his slaves. So what happens if all 7 of us can surround him and take control of him? That didn't work. So this is my problem right here. So they tied up the fat dude. The fat dude that was raping the other girl. But they found a letter that was tied to his underwear and his underwear. They took the clip and got it, and they found him. They got to meet him at this place. So they did. Now, the guy with the star symbol, the Juggernaut SCM, he controlled not 1, not 2, not 3, but all slave members of Rio's team. He literally controlled everybody with the Juggernaut SCM. One mouthpiece, bam, snap his fingers, and then he controlled everybody. And I'm like, you guys are dumb. I'm like, if you not know what the star symbol means, all 7 of you could not do that. Like, okay, let me just put an example. Say there's 7 of Rio's team, right? Say there's 7 Rio's team. All right. And there's the master slave, and there's a slave there, and then there's a slave. Okay. Why didn't Rio's team just have like 5 or 4 of them with the SEM, and then 3 of them not using them, and they could just beat the crap out of him and find a way to stop it. They didn't do that. I'm like, wow, guys, you guys mess up. Y'all could have just. Why didn't y'all think of that before? Like, this. I know there's like a plan A or plan B or all the way to Z, but come on, their first plan was to use all their STMs and see if they could challenge him to a game, and knowing that it was not gonna work. Like, come on, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't they think of that? Come on, they could have again. You could have had at least 3 or 4 people not wearing the SEM, and then just gather them, and then have the other 3 get control, but the other 4 not wearing them could just tackle him, beat him up. But no, all 7 has been captured. So now Rio would kind of like his last resort, got none left to lose. He's going to do anything for Julia. And might I remind you, from watching the show, I feel like there's 3 characters I'm into right now. Rio, the little boy, Julia, and Aria. Now, before I get to Aria, Julia will do anything for Rio. I mean, come on. The little boy took Julia in his house, and because she has nowhere to go. And Julia, again, from all the episodes we watch, Julia will do everything in her blood, sweat, and tears. She'll put her body on the line for Rio. This is why I like Julia. Even with or without the SEM, she will do anything for Rio because he took her in. Cooking, cleaning, everything. She will do anything. And when Rio saw that photo of Julia licking that guy's foot, that sparks a fire in him. And he will do anything for that. He will do anything. By that, I mean fight and gather more slaves as he can to save Julia from torture by the other guys. Now, Aria is my favorite character since episode 1. Aria developed quite a lot. For as a female character perspective, she developed a lot. I mean, think about it. Didn't know about the SEM. Oh, she was kind of a street girl, not helping out a friend at one time because he found out her boyfriend was gay. But when she found out about the SEMs and how to control things and how even her dog got controlled, it opened up because she wants to end the worlds of SEMs, to have everybody a normal life. So when Rio and Aria met, it was kind of like fate. It was kind of fate, like it's fate right there. Like, okay, we're gonna work together. If you help me, I help you, that kind of thing. So now the tables have turned. With Aria left standing, like with her slaves, it's time for her to. For me, it's time for Aria to go, ask Rio for help, get as much slaves as she can, and then move on. Now, Maria, on the other hand, the fat girl on the computer, okay, she wants to control Zero, but too late because we already know who the mask is. I'm not going to say anything. I mean, again, I'm trying my best not to spoil people. I'm trying my best. But I can't tell you. So the guy in the mask shot him with the ball, with slingshot, kind of like the Bart Simpson thing with the slingshot and the ball. So it shot her in the forehead, like right on time. That's Call of Duty. So it's slingshot, right in the head, and then she fell. And then I'm like, she can't even run. Like, I understand she's fat and all, but she couldn't even run that fast. I'm like, from that distance, that was a short, like 3 feet, 4 feet, whatever. But she got caught. So now it's time for Aria to take control of many slaves as possible. But again, Aria's gonna do what she can to save Rio and save Julia. Hopefully by then, Rio and Julia will live happily ever after. Now, here's the thing. I wonder if they're gonna follow. I'm tongue tied. I'm sorry. I wonder if they're gonna follow the really stupid twist ending the manga tried to pull. Like, the manga tried to pull it off, but I don't know how the anime is gonna do it. But let's hope that stupid twist ending could be somewhat better than what it was. I'm not saying what happened at the end. I'm just saying. Maybe, maybe not. So, again, episode 10 was really great. It did have some feedback thing with the little boy story. Like, we get to see more and more about the little boy backstory. You know, it's really sad. Out of all the characters' sad backstory, his is the worst. But still, Julia would do everything. She would do anything, even without that SCM. So, again, Rio, Julia, and Aria are my 3 favorite characters of this show. Oh, and the dog, especially the dog. I'm sorry about the dog. But still, human-wise, those 3 are my favorite. And who knows, maybe next week's episode could be a downright, I don't know, like a ending, and then episode 12 is like the aftermath. You know, let's just see how that turns out. But again, episode 10, really great effort. From last week to 10, yes! Finally, something good. So, tune in next week.